Hello. The idea, insight, or sales secret you need for massive impact is just moments away. It's time to get more clients. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most fail to connect, capture, and close their ideal clients. The mission of this show is to share Fortune 500 sales secrets to help you open the vault to your greater business success. Imagine you're a gardener at heart and your prospect relationship is this new mysterious plant you've just brought home. You don't know if it likes full sun, if it's going to bloom soon, or even if it needs to be watered every day. It's a guessing game at first. As you're introducing yourself to this plant, your new client, you want to make a good impression, right? You're giving it a little water, right? Some light and a few encouraging words. This is your awareness stage, your time to show you mean well without overwhelming the plant or your client. After all, no one wants a flood of attention from the get-go. You don't want to be that gardener who's standing over the plant, nervously asking, "Are you growing yet? Are you growing yet?" A few days in, you notice a tiny sprout forming. This is your consideration stage. You're getting to know each other, building that essential trust. You start asking gentle questions, getting a feel for the plant's environment, what's working, not working, and what it might need to thrive. You may even drop a subtle hint like, you know, a lot of my best relationships bloom into something even bigger. No pressure, just a little nudge that great things are ahead. As you nurture this relationship, this plant with consistent care and providing the nutrients it needs to grow and blossom, it begins to feel like a partnership. You're working in tandem, adapting to each other's rhythms, and the plant starts thriving. Now you notice that once this plant is strong and healthy, it's sprouting new shoots. Those are equivalent to your referrals. This is the plant's way of saying, "Hey, I trust you enough to invite some friends over." Suddenly, it's part of a mini garden. And before you know it, your prospects are blooming into champions who keep the ecosystem growing. So, he wanted to use this story as a metaphor to capture the essence of relationship building. So, I hope it did that for you. Last week, I revealed what's your relational capital and why it is so important. Today, I'll be sharing Make a Client Impact, how to cultivate client relationships. As you connect and cultivate your budding prospect relationship, you will be planting the seeds for the future. This includes how to introduce referrals into your conversations to reap subsequent benefits. By the end of today's show, you will know how to transition from awareness to consideration in your prospect relationship, tap personality coding to adapt and flex your communication style, plant and feed the ideas of referrals for the future. There's a symbiotic association between the sales process and relationship progression. For sales, you go from awareness to consideration to decision to champion. So 4 stages and very simple. At any point, this process and these stages can be disrupted or even broken. Building a relationship starts with the initial introduction of awareness. And you got it. I call this demonstrating your worthy intent. From this foundation, you move on to cultivation, then rapport, and finally, you continue on to nurture the relationship. The last stage to nurture is where your relationship expands to warm referrals and recommendations. Yep, champions. Your clients become your champions, your raving fans. Now, in the last episode, I revealed how to connect with your prospect with worthy intent. And as a quick reminder, that means that you genuinely care, that you are curious, that you are focused on serving and helping and creating lasting impact for your clients. And you're working with people that you know you can help. And you can move forward and create that impact. Now, we also explored how and why to establish and foster your relational capital to move your prospect from awareness to consideration, and that's in that relationship progression, from that initial spark that they're aware to becoming interested and considering the next steps of working with you. Consideration, therefore, equates to cultivating your budding relationship. Now, going back to my plant story. As you begin to cultivate your relationship, you're going to pivot to establishing business opportunities or personal growth development or personal growth opportunities. Whatever it is your product or service delivers to your client, why it matters to them, so they can achieve what dream, what goal, what initiative. And the key is for you to drive engagement by staying relevant. Clients are driven by their needs. That's so they can. You have to focus on the results, not the process. I'm talking about the sales process right now, but when you're working with your clients from that awareness to consideration to decision stage, you've got to focus on the results that are going to be delivered, on the results they want. What's the big dream, the big goal? What are they trying to achieve? This is not where you want to focus on the process that you're going to use to get them there, because that can start to feel overwhelming. They can get bogged down. You're really focusing on the results that will be delivered, because clients are driven by their needs. They want what they want now, right? They're making an emotional decision. They will rationalize it later. And they are not interested in your sales process or the process of how you're going to get them from point A to point B. It's the results. And when you're in this stage, you've got to focus on results to get them to the decision-making stage. And with this in the forefront, you can uncover the internal and external forces for your client and or their organization. So are there any shortcuts or choke points? What's blocking them? What's holding them back? What are the challenges they're experiencing? What are their feelings tied up with those? This is really important, because this is your time to pull up a chair, to learn what will impact progress, what will deliver the results that they want. Now, there's a little bit of difference based on your product, your service, your industry, and of course, if you're a B2C, business to business, or business to consumer. For B2B, As an example, this could be new equipment installation. All right. So maybe they're looking to you to acquire new equipment. Now, this would potentially disrupt their normal operations. So, this is something that when you're looking at the focus, what's the end result, not how they're going to get there, right? So, what's the end result that we'll receive from this new equipment installation? How is this going to answer what they want, what they desire? And as an example for B2C, it could be an impending move from one home to another. So both of these involve lots of disruption, right? And there's a whole process that can make this go a lot smoother. But what are the results? What are they looking for at the end of the day? And this is your discovery process where you wear that detective hat and the questions you ask to uncover what they want, need, or lack. What problem are they trying to solve? The area of concern they need addressed, why it matters to them, so they can. You know, in previous episodes, I have shared a litany of questions, and you can use these to uncover the goals, aspirations, and hidden objections of your ideal clients as you peel back the layers of your ideal prospects' pain points. But there's a few things I want to point out. The first one, as a hiccup here, the first one is to always tie it back to what their feelings are. How does that make them feel? And this includes B2B relationships. Those B2B buyers, they still buy on emotions. All right. It's absolutely critical that you understand their emotions, their feelings, their motivations around what's going on. Another really important piece is to keep prompting them. Tell me more. Help me understand. I'm curious about that. Because often that second answer will go deeper into what's actually happening, what they're actually thinking or feeling, what's motivating them. So it's important to use that to uncover and peel back the onion to get to that core truth. Now, in the sales process, consideration is relationship cultivation. And there are five components of a great relationship. Now, these are mutual respect, communication, diversity, humility, and mindfulness. Now, this doesn't matter if this is a professional or a personal relationship. All of these five components are so important. And this is how you have a healthy relationship, business, professional, peer-to-peer, with your loved ones. Now, your worthy intent in this framework demonstrates your respect, but it's just as important. It's just as important that your client respects you. Mutual respect supports trust and acceptance. And relational capital builds mutual respect. So now there's another side to this. The best leaders, they understand that their people skills, emotional quotient, that human to human relationship is far more important than their actual intellectual IQ, right? And there is a way that will help you gain instant empathy with those you connect with, and that's using personality coding, because this enables you to figure out what are some of the really drivers with the person that your prospect. So you're working through this consideration stage. And when you utilize personality coding, you're able to adapt, flex, and customize your conversation based on your prospect's unique personality style. So, in addition to understanding the way you think and act and behave, it illustrates how they think and act and behave. And it really illuminates the impact your conversations and how they're going to make those connections with others and with specifically these prospects, this new budding plant, and how you are in turn perceived. So, moving on to another core component, diversity and humility. We're going to put 3 and 4 together. They equate to accepting differences. So, an alternate opinion or viewpoint does not make it wrong. Someone is just looking at it from a different vantage point, a different prism, a different life experience. So it's really important that you recognize that someone can be looking at the exact same piece of pie, or we'll go back to our plant, the exact same plant, and see very different things. And humility is recognizing, once again, that an alternate opinion or viewpoint is just that. It's just someone looking at it with a different lens. You must value and appreciate what makes each of you unique. This mysterious plant that you're both looking at, and you both have opinions. Since many of our behaviors and responses and relationships are conditional and habitual, that's where mindfulness steps in. And so this is core component 5. Because it can take a lot to move us into a different mindful state, right? That growth mindset. Mindfulness practice and practices help to shift your thinking in positive ways. That's what growth mindset is all about. And once again, by wearing your detective hat and asking open-ended questions and actively listening, you cultivate your relationship. So this is being mindful of really understanding and asking that, tell me more, help me understand, to discover what's really driving your prospect. What are those results that they ardently desire? And through this process, you reach consensus. This is the decision-making process. You're able to determine if you're a good fit. If you can truly help, serve, and create an impact for your prospect, and if they're a good fit for you, right? It's a two-way street. Because if they're not a good fit for you, then you don't make them an offer. So from the decision-making stage, and each of these stages from the very beginning of that awareness to consideration to decision, you want to begin building that rapport with your new clients and planting seeds for a future referral. So we're assuming that you've done your work, you've been attracting your ideal clients. So you're going to want to be planting seeds for a future referral. So here's an example. It's so wonderful working with you. So many of my clients are referrals, and I don't usually get to have this kind of rapport with someone I've just met. So in that initial conversation, I've introduced the idea that most of my clients are referrals. This is really powerful. Referrals, I talk about them so often, that they are your lowest cost of acquisition. Referrals are far more likely to say yes, and which is why they have such a low client acquisition cost. So, and they're more likely to be your ideal clients because they've been referred by an ideal client, right? So when you're working on this and you're working at looking at your awareness to consideration, the decision making, all those stages, and you're wearing that detective hat, you're going to want to plan, practice, and execute seeding referrals into your sales cadence. And that's from that very beginning, that first time you have a conversation with them. And you're going to want to develop your own style, right? Because you've got to be your authentic self for introducing referrals into these conversations. Practice that so they just sort of roll off, and these statements, they become natural. They just become part of your DNA. And regular referrals can double your profits. Yeah, you heard me right. Double your profits and give you a significant competitive edge. Why? Why? Well, besides all this, because 98% of companies do not have a written, published, or trained referral program. So in other words, you're ahead of 98% of your competitors. In other words, you're positioning yourself for the future. Referrals allow you to serve more people, shorten your sales cycle, increase your sales profit, and make more money. And I want to let you know that I talk about referrals a lot, and I will have future episodes dedicated just to referrals. So the key today is to recognize the importance of laying the groundwork in your client relationship. That's why I brought referrals in. It's part of these stages, and it has to be part of your plan from the beginning. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want you to remember that at the heart of every successful client relationship, it lies in the impact you make from day one, the results that you deliver. Your ability to truly connect, listen, and serve with worthy intent transforms the sales process from a transaction into a relationship built on trust. When you make each interaction count, focusing on your client's needs and goals, the results they want, you're not just selling a solution, you're creating meaningful change for themselves personally, for their business, for their team, their community, their clients. And this foundation of client impact is what sets you apart and leads naturally to deeper, lasting connections. Cultivating these client relationships requires, this blend of intention, adaptability, and ongoing care. Just like with a plant. If you're going to tend to a plant, the relationships, just like the plant, need consistency, they need warmth and patience to grow. By staying attuned to each client's unique personality and evolving needs, the new results that they're seeking, you create a dynamic partnership where clients will feel valued and understood. This genuine approach fuels rapport. It builds your relational capital, and it paves the way for trust and mutual respect to flourish. And as you focus on client impact and nurturing relationships, you're not only building a solid client base, but you're setting the stage for referrals and client champions who advocate for you. A well-tended relationship blossoms into a thriving ecosystem where your clients don't just see you as a provider, but as a trusted partner and resource, and they're eager to recommend you. So I am so glad you were here today with me, and let's keep cultivating those connections for sustainable growth and success. I would love to hear what was your biggest takeaway from this episode. Just drop me a line or put a note in the post, because I love the feedback and it helps me do better. And it's important for you to support the things you love. And if you loved this episode and the show, please, a 5-star review really helps keep the show coming to you regularly. Also, if you want to get more sales strategy to grow your business, make sure you subscribe right now. Today, I explored make a client impact, how to cultivate client relationships. The key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting your time, energy, and resources. If you want to get results even faster, I invite you to download my sales strategy checklist at petite, the digit 2, queen.com/checklist. Now, next week on Get More Clients, I am going to have another great show for you, and I am really looking forward to seeing you next week.